Valencia.
Hey, yo, it's cracking everybody. It's your play party host of the Motion Country Cousin, Sir Winnie the Bish, coming at you guys with another episode, another season of the Athletic Mentality with my two brothers. We finally got OGZ back. Shout out to my man there. And then we also got Troy Riggy in the building. This season, man, we kind of went through in the off season to revamp some things. Did a lot of workshopping, trying to create like a more fluid season for you guys this upcoming season and moving forward. So we hope this is going to be something that you guys enjoy truly. Moving over here to the YouTube status, so you guys will be able to check us out there. That's going to be fucking awesome. How you guys feeling, man, with the season coming up, 2021?
Fucking stoked.
Super stoked, man. Glad to see
sir.
have some stack stadiums. Get some boys chucking some balls.
Yeah, man. That's I think that's super dope, bro. We got no more COVID, so they're at least like in the stadium regulations, they're actually going to let people back into the stadium. So that's going to be pretty cool. You've already seen what happens when you get people in the stadiums at basketball, college games, and baseball games. Hands get thrown. So I'm very, very, very excited for that. That's my personal favorite. World Star is going to be popping again.
If they ever happen at baseball games, I can't even imagine what's going to go down at a football.
Exactly, bro.
You can't coop me up, man. I'm like a peacock, bro.
Yeah, you got to let me fly. You got to let me fly, coach.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's gonna be Philly, like it's just gonna be crazy.
Oh, bro, yeah.
You're letting them out, dude. You're unleashing them. I love it.
I was telling my fiance this is the last time until what is that, like February, that we won't have football on a Sunday, Monday, Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Friday night, if you want to go watch high school, it's gonna be great, man.
I told my wife, I said, because college started last Saturday, and I was like, hey, from here on out, you know what's happening, you know what season it is. And she just like started shaking her head.
Strap in.
I gotta go.
All right, so Troy, give me like a little quick breakdown of like what you think the projections are going to be for. I mean, you're a Dolphins fan, so your boys are in the AFC East. Give us a little quick projection about the AFC East. What do you think?
So AFC East, I mean, we're still, I still feel like we're a few steps behind Buffalo. I feel like Buffalo's still the team to beat there. New England spent a lot of money this offseason, cut Cam Newton so they could put, the reins on Mac Jones. And just like Tom Brady, lead him as a rookie, start that 20-year rebuild and everything. But I think Buffalo's the team to beat. I think we come in second. Miami can win the division if we split with Buffalo or we win 2-0. Now, is that going to happen? That's very slim because Josh Allen is, man, right now he looks like beyond like another Pat Mahomes, just lighting up the league. It looks very, very simple for him. So I don't really have too much for the Jets. I know they got Zach Wilson. They're a rebuilding organization. I think they're going to be more competitive than what they had with Adam Gase and that whole drama and, mess up there. But I think Buffalo is still the team to beat. Yeah, I mean, once you knock them off, I think that's the only thing. New England, I know, like Bill Belichick, everybody's been saying, like, I think Pat McAfee went on there and he realistically didn't believe that Miami had a chance to be number 2. He thought those odds were way overblown. So the New England was the number 2 team, and he even said that there's a possibility that Dolphins might be the 4th best team in the AFC East, which I'm sure if you looked on Dolphin Twitter, man, we ate him up. Even when you could check out his podcast and everything. He even talked. He put a little episode together, and we ate him up. But we have the talent to win, but it just all depends on if we can get past Buffalo. If we can split with them or even beat them 2-0, I mean, that division's ours. Outside of that, we'll take number 2 and be the wild card.
I think you do get the wild card for sure. But Buffalo is just too tough, too dynamic at this point. They've got the right free agents at the right time, and Josh Allen's peaking, which I can get into later from a different discussion standpoint.
Yeah.
On a whole different level. And that's all I'll say about that.
Well, I think realistically, just with the talent acquisitions that happened in New England, the battle for second is between Miami and New England. execution wise, and from a standpoint of like having like the I think the solidified balance of like young enough, fresh enough talent, but also like the coaching stability and like people being together enough, the cohesiveness. I think that's what kind of like propels Miami. I got Miami coming in second in the division in 10-7, and New England 8-9, and New York at 6-11. Just because I feel like the change with Robert Salah is going to actually help out. It's just if they can actually get some things done. I have a couple again with the discussions later, but look out for Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Michael Carter in the backfield for the New York Jets, because that's a really decent team built together. Especially like a lot of good rookies, especially if they can put that together over time. I do not see them being a force or a thumper anytime soon, but to say Miami would be dead last, Pat was wrong, and he even came out and said that he was wrong the next day.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, just because how could
it was so bad though.
Tua is so talented. They have Jaheim Grant, who is, they have 3 players at receiver who are crazy at the receiver position. If they, once they get better with the quarterback and like timing and shit, and then they also are great in the return game. So, and this is what I was telling my fiance, bro. I was like, because Miami played the Bears in the preseason. I was like, if they can do this in the regular season, there's no way that Tua, there's no excuse for Dolphins fans, because Tua will always be in at least field goal range, because these guys are getting the ball off kickoff returns and punt returns and taking it back past the 50-yard line. So it's just like they're or damn near close. So they're a player or two away from being in field goal range. So I just think that that's something that you got to keep in mind when you look at this shit. Like special teams is, especially with Miami, it's going to be a weapon for sure.
Special teams matter. That's why I called half my fantasy teams that this year. Special teams matter.
Bro, I was a punt returner.
I was a long snapper. So we should call this special teams matters. That's what we should probably call it. I was just gonna say, I honestly believe that New England, I think it's a rebuild too. I don't know if they're gonna even finish with New York Jets, because I love the hire head coach there. I'm a big homer. I grew up in a Jets household. My dad was such a fan. But I just think New England's going to rebuild, get some more draft lottery, and then do something special maybe before Bill rides out into the sunset. I was looking at my notes from last year, because I have them in the same notebook, and it's like I was riding New England. I was thinking maybe it was Bill, and it's definitely Tom. I know we had a big discussion about that last year.
Tom.
I don't think that that's a question at all anymore. Is it Tom? And especially after this season, because now there's no excuse. You got all the toys, and you have your mistake of a quarterback at quarterback. So live with it. You got I think they got this draft's Mitchell Trubisky. So. And I think I'm a little bit more pissed off because Cam has way more in the tank. And now that he got cut from New England, every other NFL team is not going to give him a chance, because he's going to be damaged goods or broken because he didn't make it in New England. Same thing with Chad Johnson. So I don't like it.
Bill's trying to buy himself some relevancy, a couple more playoff appearances and stuff. Like you spent like
it won't happen.
$100 million on the defense. Like,
it won't happen. Miami is going to guarantee. Miami and Brian Flores are going to guarantee that happens. Also, guys who are watching this podcast, because I know the fans here, the people here who are watching this, we already know this. New England is horrible when they go down to Miami and play. So imagine once Miami gets a seriously terrifying team, then they're going to come up to your house and kick you in the teeth. Then you got to go to South Beach and play them. It's going to be tough. That division is going to be tough.
All right.
Yeah. Yes. I think you got knock that one out.
I love this one. This is like
the most competitive division in the NFL, I feel like, talent-wise on paper.
Every different direction. I realistically think this is the Rams division. I think they're the number 1 team. Defense wins championships. I think this will win them the title of the NFC West. Seahawks coming in second as my wild card team. I think Cardinals are still short, and the reason why I have 49ers finishing 4th, 2 reasons. 1, I need them to finish 4th in the division. And 2, I think they have a curse. I need them to finish. Let me finish that statement. I need them to finish because we own their first round draft pick.
Yeah.
I have to have it.
That's it.
I knew that was coming,
The
dog.
last 2 years, I actually had them projected to go to the Super Bowl, which one of the years they did. I love San Francisco, but right now I need them to repeat what they did last year. And I don't wish injuries on any team, but when you talk about the last 3 years, they had one. Garoppolo came in, went 5-0. The next year, which I thought they were going to be the team to beat, they sucked. They were horrible. I think they won like 4 games. The next year, this is when they went to the Super Bowl. The following year, they sucked. This is too much up and down. Like, I don't have enough faith in their team.
So are you saying that Trey Lance might be the answer instead of Jimmy Garoppolo to make them a steady team?
Yes.
It happens, too late.
It is, but yeah, it's gonna be too late by the time they make that move because they're already running with Garoppolo. I don't think he's gonna be bad, but I think there's gonna be enough injuries or anything. It's the NFL. Shit happens. Injuries happen all the time. And I think San Francisco just kind of has that history. It's like Portland Trailblazers when you talk about injuries and stuff. It's like it's just in our water. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's something historically about the franchise that has some injuries, especially as of late with the 49ers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like there's just something there with San Francisco. So I'm not wishing anything, but at the same time, I'm praying that they finish at the bottom. So, but I do have Rams because Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey in that defense, Matt Stafford with the Robert Woods. I think it'll be nice.
I'll talk about that. Josh, you want to go?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think we're all maybe agree on those top 3, Arizona, LA, or Seattle. And, and maybe we don't. But at the end of the day, you have it.
And maybe we don't.
I think San Francisco personally is going to fall off unless they go the Trey Lance sooner. And I think it can make him dynamic. I watched a couple games of preseason, and I got to see a couple of his snaps. Ooh. And I take that with a grain of salt, but the boy looked real fucking good.
Real good.
Really good. Check downs, knowing when to fucking move his legs down the field. And not just like running into the back of his line, like, evading appropriately, getting out of the pocket, making that fucking 14-yard out like it's his fucking bitch. Like, it was impressive. I just think, and I do kind of agree, it is the toughest division in the conference for sure. Oh, yeah. I obviously have an affinity to a different conference and a different division, but that's how that works. Yeah. But I think they're pretty similar in the sense that it's going to come down to defense in these situations. Yeah. So I have LA as well winning with pretty much the same reasons. I love the Matty Stafford getting an option somewhere else out of Detroit. I think that blossoms so big, and it's underrated to see someone who's been grinding somewhere for a hometown, or not even his hometown, but basically his hometown at that point, and just move away, i.e. Damian Lillard. All right, see you. Yeah. I think LA, and then I honestly think Arizona gets the wild card. I think Seattle's too much of a fucking tiff-taff drama. Russell's creating curves for no reason. Wanted out, didn't care, but like had stipulations. He knew the trade couldn't be done. That was weird all around.
Damian Lillard.
Exactly.
Dude, he's staying.
I think that. All right. So my points on it. I think because we aren't all in agreement, and I'm just saying this because of what you stated, Josh. That defense is very prevalent for a couple of those teams, and you said it also, Troy. Like defense wins championships. So I think that with the defense that the 49ers have, once they switch to Trey Lance week 2, week 3. And it will happen, they'll end up pulling out a 9-8, 10-7 season, along with the Rams having a 10-7 season or 11-6 season. And I see the Cardinals and the Seahawks both going the new 8-8, which they'll be going 9-8 or 8-9 respectively for either one of them, just because I think the Cardinals are going to get a change, like philosophically on the offensive side, they need a change. In order to like truly get over the hump, and the Seahawks just need to hit the reset button at the quarterback position. And if you take away a little bit of that money that you gave to Russell Wilson and build your offensive line, you wouldn't have to have Russell Wilson time and kind of count on him being the guy that's going out of the pocket making plays when he can't Not saying that he can't, because he made it like he was known for it for a while, but with no offensive line, no real weapons on the outside, it's kind of hard for you to always go out there. Like, he's been one of the most sacked quarterbacks, right? If I'm not correct, or if I'm not wrong?
I mean,
No, he has. I just think they have weapons, but the
They have
line is terrible.
O-line is terrible, but
And the
DK
run game
back
is terrible.
That's been big.
Yeah,
That's been
It's
big
not-
ever since the handoff.
Yeah,
It's
whether the-
been a noticeable thing.
Yeah, whether the pass blocking's good or not, it's kind of he gets out of the pocket better than anyone, so it's hard to get a real stat on that. But they haven't had a running back. They tried to address it a couple years ago in the draft with
but
fucking
good for, like,
Penny
4 games.
Carson. Yeah, and then he gets hurt. He's a fucking
He's on a
porcelain
comeback
doll.
though. Look at his Instagram. He's on a comeback.
Don't draft him.
So since we do have our resident father back in for season 3, at least for a little bit, shout out to OGs for being able to get back with us for a while. We're gonna let you talk about your. All right, so let's get you to talk about the NFC South first with the defending champ Super Bowl Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
And then finish it off with your hometown team, or not hometown team, but your home team. You know what I'm saying? The
My
team
home
you
team,
root
yeah.
for.
NFC South. In this order, I have Tampa Bay. I think New Orleans stays right behind them. Atlanta, and then the Carolina. I'll describe it from the top to the bottom. Carolina, simply put, I just don't think Sam Darnold's gonna make that big of a difference. I do think the Jets were broken, but I also think the Carolina experiment. I know they got the new head coach. Everything's feeling great. Christian McCaffrey's coming back, which they're going to run him into the ground. I think he stays fine and stays up, but I think at the end of the day, it's just leading to a heavy, like, come see Christian McCaffrey show. I don't think they win football games. Atlanta is obviously rebuilding. They still have Matty Ice, who's going to get you some football wins. I do love Kyle Pitts. I took him in a couple drafts because he just dropped. And I think if you can get a third wide receiver for your tight end, bang for your buck.
Yeah.
But taking him too early, some people were taking him like 40 or like super early. And I was like, nah, I'm not about that. And then I think the old school, and this shows my age a little bit, not too bad, but Jameis Winston and Mariota debate. You know, we get Jameis Winston coming back, doing a starting gig.
Taysom Hill.
Winston's going to start, correct?
Yeah, he's already been named the starter. I think he was proving a point. Give him a second.
Yeah, Winston's the starter.
Yeah, but give him a point. I think he's proving a point with
the
Mariota
number
Jameis
one
Winston.
and number 2 pick. They both had their chance at shitty programs. One goes away as a backup, doesn't get a starting job. Jameis Winston, i.e., does, and I'm excited to see that. And I don't think they get the wild card, but I do think they're competitive this year with him. And their old scheme with Sean Payton sucking off Taysom Hill, as my friend Bishop has talked to me about before, which is just going to screw up Winston. But I think they're going to be competitive. And then, like I said, Tampa Bay. I mean, Tampa Bay is going to win it.
Tampa Bay.
In the division.
Tampa Brady Buccaneers.
I mean, what are we going to do? They're reloaded. People are taking minimum deals. They're just reloading. Some are taking the big money, some are not. It's just working out. They're going to win at least that division. Please, anybody else?
I would just say I have Tampa Bay 11-6, New Orleans 8-9, the Panthers 7-10, and Atlanta 6-11. I've never believed in Matt Ryan. He's a sum of all his parts. He's not a quarterback to lead you anywhere, because Matty Ice became Matty lukewarm. To Matty warm as fuck. I mean, like, bro, how do you have Julio Jones? Julio Jones is one of the greatest specimens to ever touch a fucking football field at the receiver position, and he would go complete seasons without seeing the end zone. Like, how do you not make that happen? And then people question it as if it was a Julio Jones issue. No, it's the bum throwing him the ball. So he's been getting like a lot of praise for a lot of nothing. So that's been my argument there. The Panthers, I kind of do like Matt Rule and Joe Brady together on that offensive side. If they can start clicking together, I think they should stay with Teddy Bridgewater. That kind of fits more of the mold of the Joe Brady offensive scheme. Just like seeing it as an LSU fan for the year and seeing what Teddy Bridgewater was able to do last year with that team. They were just a couple games away from winning games. They were just like too far out of it, play call wise. And then New Orleans, the gadget plays with Taysom Hill is going to carry them as far as they can. As long as Jameis Winston continues to not give the ball to the other team and he wins early, he'll stay in because Sean Payton's a smart guy, and Bill Parcells end up giving him a phone call saying who he should and who he shouldn't start. So that's my thing there. And then again, it's Tom Brady. He's not a system quarterback. He's the winner. He's in Florida, so I would much rather want to play in Florida than play in New England or Boston anyway. So I would take a minimum deal to play in rainy, hot, a little warm Tampa Bay than, going up to New England and doing it, again, the Patriot way, because up there it is a college system, which when we talk about Jacksonville, I'll kind of talk about that, how people didn't like the college system, quote unquote, with Urban Meyer, but they praise it when it comes to Bill Belichick. But no, I think that Tampa Bay is going to end up running wild on that division for the foreseeable future until Kyle Trask comes in and they have to rebuild again.
Love it. I'm going to agree with Bishop. I do see what Josh is saying about Sam Darnold. Like, I don't have a whole lot of faith in him just because of the way he came out of New York and what he left the Jets with. But I blame, like I said, I blame a lot of that on Adam Gase and how he was running that stuff. So
yes,
my hope is that Darnold is going to improve. Man, he could already be shot. Like the NFL, like it
chews you up and spits you out so quick, bro. It's
not good. It's hard to redeem yourself when you've already been just beat down so bad. So my hope is that he's going to rebuild, or come back from it. I just don't. I'm glad he's got the pieces around him. It's going to take a lot of pressure off of him. I do feel like Atlanta finishes last. Matt Ryan is he's still. They got pieces, but defense-wise, like they are just. I couldn't even tell you who they got on their defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't have spent that big pick on a tight end when your defense has more holes than Swiss cheese.
No, right?
And then.
The Saints, like, I'm not sold on them. Like, honestly, losing Drew Brees and then coming down to Jameis Winston, like, it's no disrespect to him. Like, I love the comeback story. Like Josh said, like, I'm rooting for him. It's just, man, it's like losing Tom Brady. You got somebody, like, replacing that system. I don't see I see a huge drop-off. Like, I'm thinking the Saints are going to go probably 8-8 or 7-9.
But you can't go 8-8 anymore, so you'll go 8-9.
Excuse me, I forgot.
8-9
or
7-10
or 9-8. Like I see them floating around 500. I don't see them that
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like they're definitely they're not
stagnant. And I mean Buccaneers, and they're running away with that division. They'll probably win it by 4 games, easy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't see the Saints picking up and like running with like 11-win, 12-win seasons off rip. But if Jameis gets confident, we've seen what Jameis Winston can do. Like he was a great pocket passer when he was in college. Put up great numbers here in the league. Like it's not like he doesn't have 25,000 passing yards.
5,000 yards. What, 2 years ago?
Yeah, like 30 and 30, but he had over 5,000 passing yards in the same exact system with the same exact team that Tom Brady has.
He knows how to move the ball.
He knows how to get the ball out of his hands. So like, I mean, and he's a decent leader, even though like it's a lot of like speculation, eating W's and all that stupid weird shit, the training videos.
Bro, he's funny as shit. He's just corny. Like
I think he's a cornball. Yeah, I think he's just a fucking corny ass nigga.
He's goofy, and that's cool. Like he's not trying to be that serious dude. He knows he's playing a game.
Exactly.
I'm rooting for him.
And that's why I think like at most they and I think we all agree on it. They're not going to be an 11-win team, but he's not a bum. No. Like people haven't given Marcus a chance again because they haven't seen 5,000 yard passing season from him, 4,000 yard passing season from him. That's the only reason he hasn't had a second chance. Jameis is going to get a second and probably a third chance if it doesn't work out in New Orleans because he can sling the rock.
Yeah. They both just want to run their running backs into the ground. It's just that Jameis is going to be a better QB than Darnold.
So let's talk about the division up north that you love so much. Because I'm happy to hear you talk about it because
I want to hear you get hyped up.
LSU up north, you feel me? So go ahead and talk to me, bro. What's cracking?
AFC North, baby. We got Cincinnati Bengals not winning the division. I just gonna be honest.
Do it.
No, I said I think the whole time if we win 7 games, I'm gonna be real happy. Just because that's just something that we haven't been able to do, and that would be a moderate level of success. I do have Baltimore winning division because I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan.
Yeah.
I know they lost their running back, but with today's NFL, man, I just really think you can plug and play.
They just signed Le'Veon Bell today.
I know, but he's on the practice squad, and I'm already trying to pick him up in some of my fantasy leagues. Just why not? No, I know that. But no, Gus Edwards, he's a legit running back. I think it's Ty Johnson or something behind him or something like that.
Is he a free agent?
Who are you looking at the leagues right now, dude? Get out of here. It's not, I think it's waiver until tomorrow.
No, he's already. I think my brother already picked him up.
No, but I have a different league that I'm looking in. Not in the big league. I wouldn't swing like that on Le'Veon in the big league. I don't know about that. Like, it's still Le'Veon Bell who can't hit a hole. Like, I watched him run. It was bad.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Tyson.
That's the guy you're talking about. This. Hit a fucking hole, bro. That's what she said.
Hey, the running back you were talking about is Tyson Williams.
Williams, not Johnson. Williams, Johnson, whatever, you know. No, but he looked nice. He was a preseason hero. I just have Baltimore just because Lamar's too dynamic. Marquise Brown is hurt. Baltimore is definitely going to win it. It's up for debate, and I'd love to hear what you guys have. I have Cleveland coming in, getting a wild card spot. I'm not super high on Baker, but their defense, everything they've been pushing in Cleveland, I'm a big fan of. I think they're doing it the right way. I think Odell is a sleeper who's coming back healthy off of a big injury, and they're still super stacked with Jarvis and Folks, and with the double-headed Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Like, that's probably the best tandem, I mean, in the NFL that we can put on paper right now. I do, on my thing, have Cincinnati getting third above Pittsburgh because I think Big Ben's bitch ass is. And I know he's got a lot of shiny toys, Devontae Johnson or like
Chase Claypool.
But who's running the rock? Najee Harris, like
and Benny Snell.
And I have, like, come on. I just don't think
Harris is running the rock. Put some respect on my boy's name.
I have him in one of my leagues as well. It's a lot of eggs in a basket, but I think it's a little bit of the Christian McCaffrey show there too. So I think they're going to ride him, and that's going to be a dicey situation. Can their line hold up? Big Ben can't move, so it needs to hold up and then like a little bit longer. I just think I see a decline there. I know they had a great regular season last year and just crumbled down the stretch. So I think that's more of what you're going to see this year. And just it made me feel better to put it on paper, have Cincinnati not being complete last place in that division. I understand that it could happen. But and let me get into Cincinnati. I think Joe is going to be completely fine. I think the over speculation and overhype media of him and Jamar Chase is ridiculous. It's just putting a microscope on anything. They probably threw a lot of 14-yard outs that Jamar Chase caught too. You know, he probably stepped in the pocket on things. Did you see those in film? No. And from a person who's tore his ACL and MCL and multiple ligaments, it does take about a year to get confident. And once you get hit one time afterwards, or for my instance, get a rebound, it's going to be completely fucking fine. And he just needs that snap. He didn't really get it in preseason. And I have my discussions about Zach Taylor's bitch ass. Especially.
We talked about it last year.
Did anyone see the last series?
Dude, he gave him two handoffs.
Yeah, then he threw a fucking quick pass. Quick screen to Jamar, which he dropped.
And then two handoffs, and that was it. It was like,
and I'm like,
thanks for warming up.
Yeah, you can't run him back out there for just like one more slant. Like, just see how the arm looks on the plant. 3-yard drop, 3-step drop. Come on, hit him. No, I do love T. Higgins. I love Tyler Boyd. And I don't think Jamar has to be the Jamar that we thought he was going to be right off the bat. Do I think he'll get there? 100%. He already came out and said it's a lack of focus. It's a lack of concentration. That's very mature for someone who did take a year off, still pretty young in all relative aspects. And I'm tired of the numbers and like he can't separate people, dude. It's all about game time speed and being there on game day. All right. We're talking about practice. Like,
Practice.
and I just think we need to pump the brakes. I think he's going to be fine. I tried to snag him a couple of my drafts, but people were going way too early with that.
I kind of agree, but I have I do have Cincy coming in last, Pittsburgh coming in second. So Cincy is 7-10, Pittsburgh 8-9, the Browns 10-7, and then the Ravens 10-7. I truly enjoy watching Lamar Jackson play football and proving the league wrong every single year. I think they got like a decent wide receiver in the offseason free agency.
So Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, that's it. They got Sam Watkins, and then they also got
they're gonna be fine. Yeah,
they got the kid Bateman, right?
Yeah,
from Minnesota. Yeah,
he's on the IR. He'll be out for the first
6-7 weeks. Yeah, so they'll get him back week 9. So that's pretty decent too. If he's back from injury around week 7, you can train him up. You know what I'm saying? I think that Baltimore is just going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to get better, and defense is going to lack. Shout out to LSU again with Patrick Queen right there running the middle of that defense. I think that the Browns are the question mark team. The Browns are the question mark team in that division because they could definitely be regular season world beaters, or they could be teetering with injuries hitting their team late or early in the season, and then them not being able to bounce back. We saw Baker Mayfield a couple years back not be able to actually win games with all the talent that he had around him. Not being able, he was force feeding OJ the ball.
There's a big question mark.
Looper.
Baker is definitely Baker's definitely the question mark. Just to continue.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely he's the question mark of that team. So, but we all know as your quarterback goes, so does your team. Cincinnati, I think that a lot of the things that a lot of people question are just things that can happen over time. The same argument that I have for the Miami Dolphins being a team that right now this year could shock the division is where the Cincinnati Bengals could be within a year or two if they continue to have success, if they get a different quarterback, or they get a different head coach, which I've said so many times over the past season. I don't like Zach Taylor's.
I'll take Marvin back, dude. I don't even
shut the fuck up. I'm done.
What are you doing?
I'm done. I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm done talking. Troy, you got it.
Go ahead. I got you.
You got it. I'm out.
Why would you even start that, dude? You bring
go for it.
Bengals because they are going to be awful this year. Like, that's just my opinion, because the offensive line, the trenches is very, very important. And I feel like they had to deal with a lot of injuries early, and it was a hit to their offensive line early. Their defensive line, they took a big hit. So I have them finishing last in the division. And that's just because I'm not a Bengal. I'm not as big of a believer as it. I think Joe Burrow will be good in 2 years. This next year, like Josh said, it takes 12 months. It takes, sometimes 14 months, 15 months. It's not just a physical thing. It's a mental thing too. Until you take that first hit where maybe you get lit up and you land awkwardly or something like that, and you're like, shit, okay, I'm all right. We good. Yeah. Until you take off running and you're not worried that if you cut hard, it's going to snap, your whole body might fall off.
This time last year, about a week from now, 18-yard scamper. Whoop, touchdown.
Yeah, it's
So he does need
test
that.
it. We've all been through those knee injuries. I've had my own for baseball and stuff. And when you're cutting hard and stuff, it's nervous. You get really damn, I just don't want to I don't want to go through that whole process again. So I still think he's about 2 years out, kind of like Tua was. Last year, I did not believe he should have played. I thought they should have redshirted him. It was a huge risk putting him in because he takes a bad hit, he lands wrong, hurts his hip again. The whole process is you starting all over from scratch.
Yeah.
But the reward was that he got 9 games where he looked mediocre. He got to see what the NFL speed was like. He got to adjust. And so coming in this next year where he's not only 100% physically, but 100% mentally. Like you see him, he's bouncing around, he's loose, he's more comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah.
And I think Joe's going to get there. And I think Chase is still 2 years out, because when you take a year off, like Penei Sewell in Detroit, who hasn't looked that great in all of preseason, he's just been getting ate up. You forget the speed of the game. Like, you could go back to Maurice Clarett and Mike Williams. Those were like guaranteed dynasty players. They're going to change your franchise.
Yeah.
When you took that year off and you came back, they weren't the same player. They became, 5th round, 6th round players, where you're like, man, you might not make the team, but we have to take you because we took you in the 1st round, or we made you the highest paid ever 3rd round running back in history. Like, Maurice Clarett got like $5 million for a 3rd round. Like, that's 1st round money.
Yeah, especially at the time.
Yeah, that was unheard of. And so I think, like, I'd be giving Bengals some time, 2 years, 3 years, that you got to build that offensive line. And I think, Josh, like, you were missing, or you were gone when I said that, but you have to have, like, you guys took a lot of hits on the offensive line early in training camp, preseason. Like, you guys went down with a couple injuries, and you've had it for the past, 1, 2, 3 years since you've been picking 1st round tackles and guards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just traded our one from 3 years ago. The guy I've talked to you about, Billy Price.
Yep.
Because again, and that's where Miami differentiates from Cincinnati. Those guys down there will fight for Brian Flores. They love Brian Flores and the GM. They fuck with the GM tough.
Yeah.
So like they
run through walls for those dudes. Yeah.
They really will. And I tell people all the time, like, if you have that, if you have a coach that believes in you, or if you have a system, or you have players that believe in the head coach or believe in the system, it's no way in hell you're going to lose.
Nah.
Because those guys are going to die hard for it. They're not going to die easy.
Yeah, they'll never take a minute off, let alone a
No,
game.
yeah, for sure. And that's what's going to change shit.
So that was a lot for the 4th place Bengals in the division. That was a huge segment.
Hey man, I love the LSU North Tigers as well as anybody else over the AFC South, because they're 4-13.
Let's skip to the AFC South because we could talk.
They'll be picking number 1 for the foreseeable future, because they're going to trade away Deshaun Watson for nothing. They're already talking about sitting him. Well, they have to sit him because of legal allegations.
Yeah, so I don't see how he could.
He's a piece of trash. He's a piece of trash. He was. I mean, I had a lot of like good thoughts about him coming out of Clemson, because the Bears were picking very high at that exact time that we needed a quarterback. Even a few years back, we needed a quarterback, and I was still like, we should get Deshaun Watson. But to your point, Deshaun Watson held onto the ball for too long. You had the great defense that got diminished. Never had truly a great offense, but you had Deshaun Watson, who we see the Carolina or the Arizona Cardinals are. What we all agree that they'll be hovering around. Yeah, we all agreed the Cardinals would be hovering around 500, right? I don't think the Texans will be anywhere around 500 for the next 3 or 4 years.
I don't even know if they're gonna win 2 wins this season.
You don't think they got 2 wins? I gave them 4 just because, like, of 17 games. I was like, maybe they get like another. Some team to be tired.
Yeah, they're definitely my worst team.
Yeah, they're. I mean, I think we all can agree right now they got the first overall pick.
They got the number 1 pick in my.
That's a segment we're going to be talking about later on. But no, I got the Texans 4-13, Jacksonville 5-12. I don't really believe in Urban Meyer, but I do believe in that team's ability to win games. The Colts are going to be 8-9. Carson Wentz is going to be decent, but Darius Leonard and that defense is going to push through. The Titans are going to be 9-8. They're going to try to run the ball again too much, and their schedule is probably close to being. I think they're 23rd or 22nd when it comes to the hardest strength of schedule in the NFL right now. So the hardest strength of schedule. I don't think they're actually going to be a team that can push through. I think a lot of people are going to like pile up on that shit.
That's a shocker. Honestly, your Titans projection is a shocker to me. I'm intrigued by it.
You think so? I mean, I saw the schedule. Like you could say, like, oh yeah, they might get 10 or 11 wins. I just don't believe in them. I don't believe in a lot of teams in the AFC to get 11 wins. It's real tough sledding this year, brother. It seems like the NFL's gotten on like an even plane. Mm-hmm. There's not too many terrible quarterbacks.
I see winning that division, but.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, they definitely are. I just don't think they're going to be a double-digit win team.
Yeah, and then I have Andy. Actually, no, I have Indy not making the playoffs because Playoffs. I kind of rode the Carson Wentz for a while, and I just don't believe in it yet. I loved Andy the last few years, and they've always burnt me. So I just figured I couldn't go with them. Just to be honest with you,
for sure.
Like I felt like their defense was there. I mean,
2 years ago,
I'm just Andrew Lucking them, dude. I'm just walking away. So they're done.
I'm walking away.
I'm Andrew Lucking it. Jesus.
I think Jacksonville. Man, I'm excited to see Trevor's fucking pretty ass play some football. You know,
really?
Trevor Lawrence? No, not at all. And I fucking hate Urban Meyer. But
wow.
I
got that out. That was good.
Yeah, I love Laviska Shenault Jr. As a hybrid Percy Harvin type role.
He can have a breakout year if they do that for him.
I like that. I mean, I think they'll be competitive. I think they'll be better than the Gardner Minshew Jacksonville Jaguars, because I watched a couple series of Trevor throwing the football, and they looked. I mean, it was against second string fucking nobodies, but he looked like he knew what he was doing, so that was nice. And then as I think most of us agree that Houston is just dog shit. And
trash.
I think Tyrod Taylor's could be a good quarterback, and they might win some games, but to see the level of skill that's along the NFL, they're not going to win more than 3 games. No way.
Do you think, all right, before you go, Troy, do either you guys think that the Texans are sitting him right now in preparation to either cut him or trade him?
Tyrod?
No, Deshaun. Because he's sitting right now. Do you think that they're preparing to cut him or trade him, or do you think that they're just sitting him until they figure out the legal shit?
I think it's illegal. I think they have to figure out, because they know they have a gym. They know that without him, they're projected last in our eyes
for a while.
And with them, with him, yeah, but he still makes the playoffs.
What?
He touched. Excuse me. He fights. Shit. He fights. He'll keep them in contention for the playoffs.
That's what I mean. He's that big of a fucking piece.
But he went
like the Vegas odds on Deshaun Watson is insane. Like having him and not having him is completely flipped.
I don't think they had many weapons last year,
and they know that about him. Like the key point of all of this.
You're right.
Too many cooks. Anyways, I just think, we'll see. That's all we can do. We'll see.
What you got, Big Rick?
Say Watson. We won't see him play.
No.
This year? You think so?
No, we won't.
Not with how things are being treated.
I don't care if there was
back in the day. This guy's playing tomorrow, dude.
It's 4 of them. If he's 4 out of 12, like that's still 4. If it's 1 out of 12, it's still 1.
Yeah.
22 or whatever. Like the allegations.
25.
Yeah,
the allegations are too heavy.
It's too many.
So does it ruin his career? Like, is his career over?
No. If Michael Vick can make a comeback, if Ray Rice could almost make a comeback, I feel like a quarterback will get a better shot than a running back.
Okay.
Just because the quarterbacks are like they're an actual need.
More valued.
He's also young enough. This is like a very much of Michael Vick's situation when he did his stuff, age-wise, everything, contract-wise, got the money, did something stupid. He'll pay a couple years. He might have to go to another team and redeem himself, maybe 28, 29 years old. You're still going to have some good years out of him, but he needs to like take the Michael Vick route. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say we all forgave Michael Vick. I feel like we can look at Mike a lot different than what I hated him, honestly. After I loved him and then all that shit down, because I'm a straight animal lover, and I know you got mad love for your own dog and stuff like that. I know that was probably tough to see like that whole shit going down, but I think Watson has a chance to redeem himself. It just, man, it depends on how he goes about it. If he's still like egotistical, like, acting like how he is right now, he probably won't play again.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that I hated Mike Vick afterwards. I wanted to understand the situation more. And I mean, same exact thing with this situation. I just want to understand the situation a bit more.
Sure.
There's no like understanding it to a point where I'll ever be like Deshaun Watson fan as a human being or even as a player. It'll just be a little more of a little easier to swallow when you see him on television, because again, like you guys said, like if he gets charged of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, no matter what it is, like he'll spend some time, give some money back, and then another team will give him an opportunity to play football again. And then we all know that with wins comes the erasing of your past transgressions, which is going to be shit, but it's going to end up happening. It's just going to be terrible. And we'll finish my segment off talking about my Bears division, the NFC North. We all know that with Bears. We all know that with
dusted.
with 12 coming back up there in the green, that's going to be their division until he decides to leave. Hopefully this offseason Devonta Smith decides to go down to Miami, and the 49ers or some team on the West Coast decides to give Aaron Rodgers a deal, so that means he can stay out of my fucking division and we can possibly win with Justin Fields as the quarterback of the future. With that being said, Green Bay is going to be 10-7, the Bears 8-9, the Vikings 8-9, and the Lions 5-12. I don't believe in Jared Goff. Never have, didn't like when he was in Miami. I wanted to say this when we talked about the NFC West. You guys were saying how you're happy about Matt Stafford. We know this going into the season as a Bears fans, as fans of the NFC North. All you got to do is hold Matt Stafford under 21 points and have a good defense, and you win that game. So with the defenses that are in that division, I really don't see them pulling out too much if he can't get over 21 points in the game. But that's just my point on it from being a guy who's seen him play for the last 8-10 years. Shout out to him though for living in a different city, because Detroit definitely didn't deserve him. They wasted his years the same way they wasted Barry Sanders and Chad Johnson. Calvin
Hey,
I was talking about Chad so much.
Miss,
I was like, I missed tough, but yeah, like Calvin Johnson,
Hall of Famer, like
Hall of Famer to a Hall of Famer ain't too bad.
No,
but they definitely wasted both those guys, all three of those gentlemen's careers. So I would hope that Matt Stafford gets some success out in LA, because he definitely deserves it for his career to like be established.
Yeah.
I got Packers winning it. I have the Bears finishing second in the division. I feel like they're gonna have a good year, but if they have Dalton, you gotta get the reins to Fields.
No,
like I know you don't feel like they do, but
it's the same feeling that you had last year
for Tua.
Yeah, we don't need to force Fields on the field when we have a guy who can put up 5,000 yards, who is known to take teams to the playoffs. I mean, look what he did with the Bengals. We don't need to force Justin Fields on the field this year. Let this motherfucker see how you're supposed to talk to GMs, how you're supposed to talk to other players, how you're supposed to run the locker room, run the huddle. And then next year, there you go.
I agree with that. I just don't see Andy Dalton as that 5,000-yard quarterback.
We don't have the receivers for it.
You got Robinson. You got I don't even know who you got.
Exactly, we don't got the receivers for it.
Stuff, but
Mooney,
Komet.
But if I just say if he could get if he doesn't make mistakes early, if he doesn't make mistakes early and doesn't play like he did in Dallas, there's no way the fans boo him off the field. So the front office is not going to jump. They're not going to jump quick.
But
he's way more prepared.
If he plays the way he played in Dallas, that's just my fear. That's the only reason why, like, I saw him go from his last year to Cincinnati, then to Dallas, who I thought with Dallas, I thought he was like, okay, Dak went down. So now this is Dallas is they might win it.
Bro.
That was my team. Like, I was like, now you got Dalton.
And with Mike McCarthy.
Oh man, I really was like, you didn't even give Dalton this in Cincinnati. Maybe you did, but like this is his chance to like just take over. Dallas can finally get over the hump. And then they threw up whatever they threw up last year. That was just awful. It was nasty.
Yeah.
Boring. The offense was just very, very stagnant. So I didn't know if that was on Dalton or if it was on the offense, but I have Vikings finishing below the Bears. But it's only depending on Dalton. If Dalton plays like Dallas, I got Vikings finishing above them, and then the Lions definitely finishing last. I have the Lions finishing with 4 and 5 wins.
Okay, for sure. Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Green Bay winning. I have Chicago in second, winning a wild card. I think the defense is good enough. I don't think Andy's ever had a defense that way. I also agree with Bishop and I didn't want to play Joe. last year, but the difference is that we didn't have anyone to play quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you did pay an Andy Dalton to come in and to play as long as he possibly can till the wheels fall off. If they keep falling off like Dallas, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's got more time. I think the whole Dallas was rushed. He thought he was on a vacation plan with Dak, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Here's a playbook," and he's like, "Oh, I was the highest paid backup, man. Now you got to make me. I'm gonna start.
Where's my helmet at?
Where my helmet at?
Somebody get my helmet."
And I think the things to think about with Andy, as I've watched him over fucking too many years, is he's gonna throw the ball exceptionally well, and then the next throw could be absolute trash. So you just need to take it. But your defense is better than I think the Bengals have ever had since the Vontaze Perfect years, and that was a great team. And they just shot themselves in the foot. So
Vontaze shot you on the foot.
One individual and Pac-Man Jones. We're gonna go down that road. Go Mountaineers. Anyways, them boys. Anyways, no, I really think Chicago has a defense to keep Andy afloat, and they've been doing it with other quarterbacks for years. For fucking years. So I think do the same thing. I do think Minnesota is iffy because of the weapons, but their defense is deteriorating.
They did get Griffin back.
Kirk is just not. And then Jared Goff, just a complete rebuild. They took a quarterback that's going to get some people in the seats because it's going to be a certain level of fucking attendance.
Yeah.
And I think Penny, I didn't hear that he's been struggling, but I think their mindset of drafting that way is the right way.
Yes.
Before you get don't let the quarterback get hurt. So I think there's promise with the head coach there, but obviously with 12 in hand,
Campbell, you goddamn right.
Yeah, I have Aaron taking them to the fucking Super Bowl, so that's where I'm at.
Yeah, kind of like throughout this whole thing, who's going to win the divisions, kind of.
Yep.
Just go through real quick who you think is going to be in the playoffs, who's going to be in the wild card, and then who you have as your final two teams in the Super Bowl champs.
Josh, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, we AFC West, Kansas City. Definitely going to win that division. I have the Chargers snagging that weird third wild card spot. A little homer with Justin Herbert, but I think he makes another big step in their development, and they get more pieces. Austin Eckler may be healthy the whole year, although I think he's already got the groin situation going on. Boo-hoo for you. And AFC, just want me to continue on the AFC?
Yeah, go for it. Just run it.
Then I got Tennessee, Buffalo, and Baltimore. And then I have my two wild cards as Miami and Cleveland, because I think the AFC North is kind of like that NFC West, where it's just you got top three teams that are gonna battle it out. Maybe not a high record, but they're gonna beat each other up.
For sure. Yeah, they're gonna beat each other up to where they all have mediocre records. Their records is not gonna reflect the actual play on the field.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. You want me to run it?
I was going to say I got the same thing, except instead of the Chargers, I took the Broncos. I'm actually rooting for Teddy Bridgewater.
Me too.
Bro, I got so much love for Teddy right now. It's just the Broncos defense, they got decent. I mean, Judy, I think, is going to do something. I feel like they smacked us last year, and that was just kind of like a rude awakening to actually look at their team. I really thought they were shitty, but no, they got some fucking dogs on that team. And
then they just picked up Kyle Fuller from the Bears in free agency, bro. They're solidified on the corners, the DNs, receiver core looks good. They got three really good receivers. KJ Hamler, I think I picked him up in the draft. In our fantasy league, but KJ Hamler, Sutton, and Judy, they
got four. Tim Patrick's nice too.
Oh yeah. Noah Fant at tight end, Melvin Grant, Melvin Ingram, Melvin Gordon on the back end. I think they have.
Was it Javonte Williams as their backup running back?
So I definitely have them. That's why I have them
on my team
winning that's why I have them in the wild card. So I got pretty much everything you all just said as well. The Ravens, the Browns, Buffalo, Tennessee, Kansas City, and Denver.
Yeah. And I got the same wild cards too. I think the division winners are pretty set in stone of who
For sure.
in the division. What you, Josh, lead us off for the NFC.
Yeah, you've been doing good with it, bro. I like it.
NFC West, bro. I flipped. I've been flip flopping. I'm honestly gonna go Arizona for the top. I think Kyler Murray, weapons. My boy AJ Green wearing a different uniform. That's how much depth they have at wide receiver. He probably won't even get 40 catches this year because you got Christian Kirk, you got the boy Moore, I think, who they drafted this year, and
I wanted him.
Yeah, and they got Hopkins. I love the defensive side that they've put on the ends. You got Chandler Jones, and you got the Watt brother. Is it Chris or Chandler? I think it's Chandler in Arizona.
Chandler Jones.
Yeah,
They
were both doing it because of each other.
Yeah,
you know, but if they can get both of them on the football field, the offensive weapons with Chase,
I don't see that, bro.
And James Conner.
I don't see it at all.
News?
No.
The news or what I'm saying?
I think he's talking about me.
I think so too. But that's just kind of how I feel. And my grandpa, I've been talking with him since he's been up here, and he is from Phoenix. And he's been up here for the last couple of months, just chatting my ear off. And I just, I think Kyler Murray, it's kind of those things, is it now or is it never for this 5'9" running style pocket passing quarterback. I also have LA making it as a wild card, Tampa Bay, NFC South, NFC East, which we choose not to talk about, but I'll just mention, I think the boys are going to win the fucking crapshoot.
Oh, yeah.
NFC North, we just talked about. I'm still keeping with number 12, Aaron Rodgers. And then I do have Chicago because I think Philly and New Orleans, who are kind of in that play, are wild card. They're not going to put together a full season, whether it's Jalen Hurts getting injured because he's running the football over the place, whether it's fucking Taysom Hill going down or Jameis and then Hill having to take over. I think it kind of caps him.
All right, my playoff predictions.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just start with the NFC East so we can get it done real soon. I actually got the Washington, whatever you want to call them, football team,
Red Wolves.
Yeah, whatever it is. Like,
I'm with it.
Pick a team, like pick a name. Just give me something. But I got Washington. I think they were semi-dangerous though once they got in the playoffs last year. I think
they damn near beat the Bucks.
Man, that was the toughest game they had.
That's the toughest game the Bucks had the entire playoffs.
Whole playoffs, maybe even all season.
Yeah, they canned that quarterback too, didn't they?
Yeah, they cut him. Heineke.
They cut him?
Yeah. They cut Heineke, bro. What? Stupid.
I thought he was easy the backup. Like, why wouldn't you have him as the backup in case Fitz does Fitz stuff? Like, where he just starts throwing interceptions.
Fitz is going to win you 8 games. He's going to lose you 8 games. You need somebody for that extra.
You got to decide on those other 8.
The Cardinals, man, I feel like there's just something missing. I don't know what it is. I thought they were the team last year. They barely finished. I think they maybe finished 500 or something like that. But I got Rams and Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks just somehow pull whatever wins out. I don't understand it, but I'm not going to really root against them on this one. So I got Rams, Seahawks, playoffs, and then Bears, Packers, and then Saints and Buccaneers. I think Saints squeak in as the number 7.
I can see that.
Yes, I have the Rams and the 49ers, Tampa Bay. I have Washington football team going into the playoffs unless Dallas stays healthy. Then I have Dallas going in. Again, I listened to this shit way too much. I actually want to talk about the NFC East a bit more, just because, like, especially if Dallas starts to play decent, like once the season starts rolling. I would love to see like the competition there. It's definitely there for them. Now, like, can you put the pieces together on the field? And then I also have the Bears and the Green Bay Packers going to the playoffs. So, of course, the Green Bay is going to be the 1 seed. Tampa Bay is going to be the 2 seed, in my opinion. I think Tampa Bay is going to have more of a rocky season than the Green Bay Packers. I think the Packers are going to try their hardest organizationally, at least on the field, to do everything they can to, like, say fuck you to the organization for Aaron Rodgers. And so, yeah, that's mine. And my final 2 teams, I'll just flow into that. My final 2 teams are the Green Bay Packers coming out of the NFC and the Baltimore Ravens coming out of the AFC.
Wow. Got the Ravens.
Yeah.
I love it from the division, though. I love that because I think it's the best division in football. I just think I got to agree with you. Besides, I put Tennessee playing Green Bay, and the only reason I say that is because they made some amazing pieces on the outside. They made additional signings on the defense that was already solid. I love the head coach. I think it kind of goes into what we've talked about. I think they're riding or dying for him.
Oh yeah.
Like for sure. And I know he's the same exact way. You can see the passion on the sidelines. I just think it's a feel-good story. Tannehill coming from the trenches that he had to come through Miami, then just ringing him around, not playing him correctly. Just teasing, but no, I just really think Tennessee's going to make a splash.
What do you want?
I was about to say they had Adam Gase as well.
What do you want?
Touche, boys. Too fucking. No, I just really think that's a big play. And I thought they were going to do it last year, and they came up short. And I really think they got more left in them. And if it's now, it's probably going to be never. So I got Green Bay versus Tennessee.
I do have the Packers, but I kind of want to feel like I just want to show some love to Brady over there in the.
I was about to say, come with the TV prediction. Let's go for it.
Man, I'm gonna have to go. I still got to go with Rodgers. I feel like he's gonna ride off in the sunset this year.
Yeah.
My AFC team, I was thinking Kansas City most of the year, but I think I'm gonna throw a surprise team out there. I think Buffalo.
Yeah.
Might be that surprise AFC team. Like, I don't have them winning. I promise you.
They're not going to win the Super Bowl, but they'll get there.
That's fine. They can get there. They're just going to do Buffalo.
We all have Green Bay winning the Super Bowl.
That's scary, right? All three of us.
That's what
Rodgers is just like, I think he's just mad.
All right, so now we got, and these are just like our super fan predictions, guys. We're going into the last segment of the show. Appreciate you guys for being here. Also, man, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to rock up the podcast. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and subscribe and share button. Make sure you tell some people about us, man. We love you guys. So we're going to go into our yearly award winners. So our predictions for that. So MVP, Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year, and then also Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year. I am going to just throw this out because, again, doing all my research this past day or two, I really think that Brandon Staley is going to be the Coach of the Year for the Chargers. If the Chargers get past the 7-win mark. So like I have the Chargers at 9-8. I think that that's going to make him the Coach of the Year. With that being said, my MVP, and I'm giving you two choices because all of them have an if factor to it. So if Josh Allen, like you said, if he's the guy that we think he's going to be going into this season, I have Josh Allen being an MVP. If not him, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Defensive Player of the Year is going to be T.J. Watt if he actually plays this year for Pittsburgh starting week 1 and gets the contract that he wants, because I feel like he's going to be a man possessed. And he's also been in the conversations for Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 seasons and came up short. If not him, it's going to be Darius Leonard, because Darius Leonard's a tackling machine, and I think he's going to lead Indianapolis to at least like a defensive year that they've never had before. Offensive Player of the Year is going to be, of course, Patrick Mahomes if he ends up winning if he ends up winning the MVP, it'll be Patrick Mahomes. If not, it's going to be Alvin Kamara, because he's going to carry the entire city of New Orleans on his back. Offensive Rookie of the Year. This is where you guys probably are going to feel kind of iffy about your boy. I have Jalen Waddle or Elijah Moore, both out of the same division in the AFC East. I truly love Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore is this year's A.J. Brown. If you guys remember when A.J. Brown came out of the drafts, nobody really knew much about him. They kind of questioned him because DK Metcalf was getting all the attention. So with Elijah Moore coming out and all the guys, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, Chase getting all the love, I think this guy might be able to slip in, especially with Zach not having any other targets. This guy might be the guy.
I thought Elijah Moore was the best receiver for sure.
Oh, for sure. He's crazy. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to be either Xavier Collins out of Arizona or Micah Parsons out of Dallas.
Motherfucker. I got Josh Allen at MVP as well. I just think the dual threat like with the accuracy he's being able to build, the weapons they're putting around him, and he's still just so mobile. And they don't even run the ball at the goal line. It's Josh Allen time.
Yeah.
Which is why you see all the Buffalo running backs at the end of your fantasy draft just waiting there. You want Zach Moss? Sure, take him.
Sure.
You want Singletary, or what, Singletary, I think it is? Yeah.
Kyle's in the draft, he's taking him.
Yeah, because Kyle's an idiot.
He's a Buffalo fan. He's
I know.
The greatest running back ever.
I guess I got defensive player of the year, Chase Young. I think he makes the next step. I think Washington football team is really going to just strive upon what he's going to represent. I think he's going to try and get a lot of individual stats, which comes the high sack number, which kind of leads into kind of who usually wins this award.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, I have an offensive player of the year. I think he's the same kind of mindset as Bishop was saying with Alvin Kamara. I think if he's healthy throughout the year, he wins with that. If they're going to flip it from MVP, because it could be Josh Allen too, depending on how they want to play that. I have Najee Harris as offensive rookie of the year, just because I think he's going to get those touches. I wanted to say Elijah Moore, but I knew Bishop was going to bring him up because we've talked about it before. Yeah. I'm pretty high on him as well. And Zaven Collins, we just segued into my conversation.
Yeah.
On like a freak. I can't remember the dudes from Clemson who ran the 4.2.
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, he's pretty much the same thing as that, but bigger. And maybe not quite as that high end speed, but more of an instinctual feel to the game, I think. And then I have Brian Flores as head coach of the year.
All right. So coach, I'm going to have to go with Coach Flores. I feel like this is his year. I feel like he was close last year with McDermott from Buffalo getting it. And I think he was well-deserved getting it. But I feel like this is the year that if he gets over that hump, if he even, 10 plus wins, that's what's going to guarantee him coach of the year.
I agree.
MVP, I got Josh Allen or Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just because I feel like Rodgers is going to do something dirty, but I feel like he's been there. And if Allen does something just as good, they're going to give it to the new upcoming talent and stuff. So
can I pause you real quick?
Go ahead.
That's the only reason why I'm picking Josh Allen overall as my MVP pick, because if we look at it, the top quarterbacks that we've all talked about, how you said you love Lamar Jackson, you said you love I love Patrick Mahomes, and you say you love Josh Allen. All three of those guys came in relatively around the same time in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going to be the face of football for the next wave, right? They're going to get those guys MVPs early, so that race conversation for them isn't like it is with Tom Brady and you know what I'm saying?
Aaron Rodgers and Breeze.
Yeah, Breeze, Ben, Phillip, Eli. Yeah, it's they're going to try to get these guys.
Sure.
Yeah, they're going to try to get these guys in quick with the awards.
Oh yeah. MVP. So we had defensive player of the year. I have Xavier Howard, but I like that Chase Young. I would say either one of those, because I feel like Chase Young is going to set a tone, almost like a very Aaron Donald-like season.
Exactly.
Where he's not just going to get sacks, but he's also going to have you won't see run into his side is going to be a negative stat. Where it's just you can't go to his side at all. And if you don't go to his side, he's going to be sacking you from the blind side or the back side, whatever it is. Offensive player or rookies of the year, I have Jalen Waddle and Najee Harris. I have it as a co, because they do these co's every now and then, and I feel like this is going to be one of those years where both of them are going to do something pretty substantial where they're both going to get it.
Okay.
And my defensive, I have Micah Parsons, but it's really hard for me to ignore just even me being a Dolphin homer, but Javon Holland.
I left it open. I left it open for you. I wanted to represent.
He is. He's been just the talk of everything. He really has. And I feel like he could be one of those rookies that really steps up defensively, where you never really thought that he was going to step up. But man, he is a hybrid, a Swiss Army knife, whatever you want to label him as. He can do it all, and he's just been everywhere. He's making plays, picks, interceptions, stacking the box. So I'd watch out for him. I know Miami's got a lot of rookies, especially with Jalen Phillips. He's somebody else that I would look at. He's probably my third sleeper because I feel like him as a defensive end, kind of like Zaven Collins and stuff, he could really wreak havoc.
I think,
and the kid is swagger field. He took his helmet off in the middle of the fucking play.
Yeah.
Got the shit called back 15 yards because he wanted people to see his damn face.
Yeah.
So I would just piggyback and say, like, those guys, you really can't go wrong this year. I think with this year's NFL draft, the depth that came out of it is insane because you can't really pick one. You can't pick one or two guys and say, like, oh, that's it. No, like, it was like 4th or 5th round players that are like, you're going to see them 10, 15 years from now, and they're going to be on your favorite team or be against your favorite team, causing you hell. So I think that's
by far the deepest draft I've ever seen.
That I've seen in a while, in a long time. I want to like kind of talk about the Chase Young, Aaron Donald comparison that you guys had. Yep. I think that Chase Young can be at that point if he moves across the line like Aaron Donald did. Aaron Donald, remember when he won the award, a la Khalil Mack won, or Khalil Mack got All Pro at 2 different positions and then won the MVP at MVP. So did Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is able to play the inside and cause hell and still get to your quarterback with like triple teams on him, and he's able to hold the outside. So if Chase Young can have like a couple of formations or or schemes where he is inside and still causing the same havoc as he could on the outside, or even like standing up and then coming up from the outside.
No, they're definitely.
I think you got to move him around in order for him to win Defensive Player of the Year.
I think they definitely do scheme him, whether it's like tangos or like flip in or not. But they even have been lining him up now. I think it's up to discussion whether he's effective against a fucking guard who's fucking in a center combo.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why I say Aaron Donald is something. I mean, it'd be very difficult to try and get to that level because he's so small but so strong and fast at the same time that it's very difficult to try and block that guy. Even knowing coming into the game where he's going to be, all that stuff, he gets triple teams and he's still a game wrecker with 3 guys on him.
I wanted to bring that up because I knew the talent was there. The team is revolving around him. Because honestly, I think Myles Garrett might surpass both of the guys that we're talking about now. Depending
he's
on
scary.
Just on the media front, how everything's looking, he did.
And now they got a good interior on that defensive line, and they have Jadeveon Clowney on the opposite side. So one of those guys are going to go off this year. We're going to see either the, like you said, the Jadeveon Clowney effect, where like people are questioning if you got to look at him, and then that leaves Myles Garrett to be open, or is it the Myles Garrett effect where you're focused so much on where the hell he's at that everybody else on the defense is feasting? So I that's how I believe. Yeah, man, you got to pick your poison with some of these teams, bro. Offense and defense, they're 11 deep. It's no longer 3 or 4 teams that got 4 or 5 players. A lot of teams are 11 deep, and it's a really good thing for the NFL. When it comes to some really decent games, we're not just looking forward to 3 or 4 games. We can watch a slate of football games this year.
Yep. I agree. Oh yeah, I left off my offensive player of the year. I'm gonna take Devontae Adams with that.
Okay.
My MVP is either Allen.
Figuring with Aaron. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I feel like
a combo deal,
something like an 1,800-yard receiving year. Like I feel like he's gonna.
Well, I don't know, man, because it's hard as a receiver to win that award. Michael Thomas didn't win it, and he broke Marvin Harris's record for receptions in a year.
The receiver that did win it, like.
Well, I'm just saying the most notable receiver to break like a big record was Michael Thomas. It goes to quarterbacks and running backs, yeah. So like you got to do something insane. I think Odell Beckham Jr. was like the last player to win something crazy like that, and that's why I put Jalen Waddle and Elijah Moore into that offensive rookie player of the year, because if they make 1 or 2 big plays that gets replayed on SportsCenter or gets replayed on commercials, that catapults them into the main front, and then everybody's going to have to look at them. And they both play in big markets, Miami and New York, respectively.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we truly appreciate you for tuning in. Again, this is season 3, episode 1. Over here on YouTube, man, we're trying to build and expand. So please hit us up. I'm gonna have all of our Instagrams, all of our Twitters underneath in the description. I'm gonna be working with some of the editing and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys like what you saw. Be safe out there, man. When you go into these football games, whether it's college, high school, or professional level, make sure you're safe. Make sure you're not being a dumbass. If so, make sure somebody records it in records it like this. You know what I'm saying? Landscape it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, holla out a name so we can catch you on Twitter because I will see you. Like,
hey, we're reposting all that shit.
We'll retweet it.
No, but for Troy Riggins and for my boy OGZ, Josh O'Gorman, I am the Play Party host of the Motion Country Cousins, Sir Winnie the Bitch, and I truly appreciate you guys for tuning in. Could have been anywhere in the world, but just hard to rock out with the Athletic Mentality Podcast, and we fuck with that, man. I love you all. Make sure you tell somebody that you love them. Peace.
La ciencia